focus back on domestic matters today, and we're underway in the 10th Continental Cup final, the first not to feature either Arsenal or Manchester City. Chelsea seek to defend the trophy they won for the first time last season, and Bristol City, Lucy, hoping for their first major honour.
Absolutely, it should be a good game. You look at Bristol City, just to try and keep it tight the first 10 or 15 minutes, make sure that they're compact in the way that they play. And Chelsea know they've just got to be thorough and professional and hope that their class will pay off.
Played forward here by Anderson. The freshness here, Lucy, of Chelsea is going to be very interesting, isn't it? They've had a lot of games, a busy schedule on that flight back on Wednesday night from Monza in Italy as well.
Yeah, and the last time that they made so many changes against Brighton, they lost the WSL game, and it's difficult to, when you chop and change, to get relationships with players, particularly the ones that don't play often. So they've got to get that right from the start, because Bristol will be fully focused and trying to get a result this afternoon.
Played inside by Daniels. Now Ingle. Fleming. Space has been found here by Wrighton, who looks for Kirby immediately. He's got him behind. Can she finish? She squared it brilliantly. And there's the opener. And it was Sam Kerr arriving at the back post. Such a good combination there is between Kirby and Kerr. They link up again, and Chelsea in front here inside 2 minutes of the Continental Cup final.
Yeah, I think it's important for Chelsea when they come into this game to start the game well, and Bristol just didn't defend it. They've got to keep the ball, and it's just one ball there through. Beats the defence. I think it was perfect. Just got on the wrong side of Frank Kirby, and as soon as you do that, you're already at a disadvantage. Just allow Sam Kerr on that left-hand side, just the start that Bristol didn't want. They knew that Chelsea would start fast, and they had to be compact in defence, and they are actually playing three at the back, and they haven't done in recent games. And sometimes when you change formations for a team, it does take a few minutes to get going, and you can't have that against Chelsea.
It is the nightmare start for the big underdogs already coming into this Bristol City. We saw the importance, the influence of Frank Kirby there, a player who signed a new deal with Chelsea just the other day until 2023. There's the option of a further year on the club side as well. She's having a brilliant season, isn't she?
I think she's back to her best and more. You know, she's struggled with injury, with illness, but she's come back and she's flying. Adam, I completely understand why Matt Beard looked to play three at the back, but they've got to be on it from the start, and what it allows two up front and also an extra one in midfield, but at the back you have to concentrate and make sure that you pick up the runners.
Mielder. Fleming shows down the line, but again it's that same run from Kirby, getting in between two of the centre halves.
Yeah, and what you find as well with Chelsea at times, that they'll play four up front, so that automatically flattens Bristol back to a 5.
Both of these clubs reached the final with a 100% record. For Bristol, there were wins over London Bees, Palace and Lewis in the group stage. They beat Aston Villa in the quarter-finals, and Leicester City by a 0-0 in the semi-finals. Chelsea beat Arsenal and Tottenham, and then Manchester City after extra time in the quarter-finals, and they really hammered West Ham, his former club, in the semis. But what a nightmare start for Matt Beard. It's how his side react now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, the game plan completely gone out of the window in terms of how he wanted to start. You split the game into sections when you're the underdogs and try and get through it. But he's quite a calm. He's used to situations like this, and he's a calm manager in terms of instructions from the sideline, and they've just got to keep their heads now. Bristol, it's just one goal.
Bright's pass to Eriksson, those two reunited at the heart of the Chelsea defence after Eriksson's recent injury. Right again, he was named in the FIFA Best 11 this season, for last season, Fleming. just about kept in initially by Kirby.
It's a problem, this left-hand side for Bristol. Perfield's used to playing as left full-back, left-sided centre-half is completely different, and Kirby just will find the pockets in between.
So Maren Mjelde will take this. Leupolz next to the keeper Bagley, and Brights up from the back as Chelsea seek a second here. 32 points between these clubs in the WSL table after 16 matches. It was Evans who headed clear. She was excellent in the win over Reading on Monday night. Anderson's pass wide. Millie Bright stayed forward. Ingle. Maren Mjelde scored that penalty in Monza during the week. Anderson. Throw-in taken quickly, and Wrighton's ball into the box didn't find Kirby. Fleming was arriving as well, and it's nodded behind by Bryson.
Yeah, really under pressure. Bristol. And Chelsea just putting that concerted pressure on them, moving the ball as quickly as they can, and they're just not really set. Bristol, they don't particularly look comfortable in this formation, but they have to sort it out between them.
4 inside the 6-yard box here for Emma Hazy side, and Eriksson with the header that wasn't far wide at all.
Tell you, that wasn't far away. Have to be defensive-wise first to this header. Just did enough there, Jana Daniels, to put off Eriksson.
Chelsea really dominant in the opening 7 minutes here. Their goal coming after 1 minute and 26 seconds of this Continental-cup final. It's Bright's ball forwards. Flicked on by Wellings. There's a confidence, there's an authority, there's a calm about Chelsea's play. It's with Sam Kerr, their goal scorer. Breaks now for Ingle. Maren Mjelde. Movement from Fleming. Movement all over the place here from Chelsea. It's such a fluid setup, particularly in the final third. Mjelde. Trying to work their way out here, the Vixens. Well, we saw Lucy yet again. Kirby and Kerr linking up for the goal. They've developed since Kerr's arrival at the club. Such an understanding, haven't they?
Yeah, and when Sam Kerr first came, it took her a while to settle, and I think that's probably more off the pitch than anything. But when you've got players of that high calibre, the pair of them, you just get used to playing with each other. And what Emma Hayes has done, she's changed the team, but she's kept key relationships together, particularly up front.
Wrighton. Ingle's pass. Rare one. That for Sophie Ingle to go astray. Daniels. Evans sends it long this time, up towards Wellings. Eriksson was there for Chelsea, and now it's with Anderson. Not many stats better highlight the gap between Bristol City and Chelsea than this one. Bristol City conceded more goals in their 9-0 loss at Chelsea in September than Chelsea have conceded all season in the league.
I think the biggest stat is the amount of money spent on the squad, Adam, which I think Emma Hayes fairly alluded to before the game. You know, the budgets are completely different. You know, Chelsea shopping with no disrespect to the Bristol players, because they've done incredibly well this season, particularly on this cup run, but you know, they're getting players from abroad that are the top players in the world. It does make a difference on the pitch.
Daniels has lost possession, and Kirby finds Kerr again, and it's the same end result. Chelsea double their lead. And it's that combination again, finished off by Sam Kerr. Ruthless, clinical finishing from her, and it's 2-0 to Chelsea.
Again, it's the movement. They move the ball quickly, they're finding the gaps. And also, Bristol giving the ball away in really, really difficult positions to then defend against. They're outnumbered 3v2, and again, it's a good finish. Bang's a really good goalkeeper, but just needs more protection than that. Evans nearly got to it in terms of a block, but you cannot be giving the ball away as far close to your goal as that.
Celebration wasn't bad either.
Can you do that? I know the answer to that.
You won't be seeing me do that on the gantry. I'd need a month off if I tried that. Somebody in my ear said maybe 15 years ago, Adam. They're not wrong.
She's been kind. More like 25. This is better from Bristol, keeping the ball. That's what they need, a bit of controlled possession. Should bring the confidence back, bring the girls back into line in this final. A little bit shell-shocked with the start from, well, they would have probably expected Chelsea to start like that, but they just needed that bit of quality.
Ingles ball back to Berger. I think a big frustration as well for the second goal was that it was from that stray pass, wasn't it? Architects of their own downfall, really.
Yeah, if you're going to make a stray pass, you've got to do it in Chelsea's defensive third, not in your own defensive third.
I have to say, and I understand, like you were saying about Matt Beard deciding to go with the back three, but they were so good against Reading on Monday night. I'm surprised he's changed it. I'll be interested to hear what he has to say about it after the game.
I know why he's done it. He's done it to be more defensive, so it's 5, but it's such a difficult formation to switch to, Adam.
How long typically, Lucy, as a player, would you want to be working on a shape like that when you change?
Well, I'd want to play at least a game beforehand in that shape, because the final brings all sorts of different emotions as well that you've got to contend with as a player. It's not like a league game.
Humphrey. It was nicely done by Carla Humphrey. Salmon unable to bring it under her spell, and now it's with Eriksson. That's better. Now it's Bryson, Wellings and Salmon waiting on the edge of the box. Wellings pointed where she wanted that, but Eriksson read what was coming and cleared for Chelsea.
It just gives Bristol a little bit of confidence. They know what they can do in that final third. It's just getting the ball up there with a bit of precision, keep it. It was better down that right-hand side.
They're able to gather that in unchallenged. A bolt out looking for Maren Mjelde. As Chelsea look to get forward in numbers here. Fleming. Intercepted by the Matilda Mastra Antonio, but again, Salmon unable to make it stick.
Yeah, they're very aware of Salmon and the threat that she has. 2 or 3 Chelsea players around it. Really bright, as tight as she can behind.
That isn't her strength, though, is it, Salmon? With her back to goal in the centre circle, she wants to be running over with balls over the top down the channels, doesn't she?
Yeah, they probably need to try and turn Chelsea around when they do get that controlled possession and just give Salmon a run against the 2 centre-halves for Chelsea.
Did that very well against Reading on Monday night. Bright. Eriksson. First time by Kerr. Fleming's ball inside to Kirby, who already has 2 assists in this final. Wasn't involved in the final last season, Fran Kirby. Only made 1 appearance in that run because of illness. Kerr pulls it back, looking for Kirby, looking to return the favour perhaps. Cleared by Evans, but Chelsea will come again. Ingle. Welling's got it clear.
The problem Bristol have got is that they're pushing up and trying to push out, but then there's no pressure on the ball. Now, as soon as there's no pressure on the ball, those runs in behind of the quick forwards for Chelsea just will cause problems. If they're going to play like that, you have to deny space in behind.
Mielda. Certainly don't look tired, Chelsea, do they? What we were saying beforehand as Daniels slides in.
Hayes has the luxury of a big squad of talented players, and when they do play, they've got to play well, because otherwise they won't be in the next team. And that's important in terms of the competition.
Mielda. Evans got it clear, and then Mastra Antonio was there too. Humphrey. Feels put under pressure there. Scored a lovely goal on Monday night against Reading. Killed one in left-footed. And it's just been exclusively about defending for her so far, and many of the other Bristol City players. So Wrighton to take it. Goalkeeper stays put, and wide it goes.
Threat, aren't they, from set pieces, but Bristol have got some good aerial threat in that defensive third, and he's not going to be happy with the start. It's not what he expected.
I'm hoping to make it third time lucky today, Matt Beard. He's lost two previous major domestic finals, the 2012 and 2019 FA Cups with Chelsea and West Ham. Out by Evans, former Cardiff player, Welsh international, player of the match against Reading. Ingle. Mielda. Looking for Fleming, it might reach Kerr, it did. Now what's she caught? Well, referee completely unmoved there. Sliding in was Gemma Evans. It looked a good challenge from here. Here's Ingle. Fleming, Ingle. Played wide by Leupolz. Bright. Mielda. Sophie Ingle. Last season's Continental-cup was Ingle's first major honour, as Wrighton looks for Kirby here.
Especially it's not really Jana Daniels' natural position to run back and defend there. And my first thought there that it was a good challenge. She got the ball, but I think from that angle it did look like, I'm not sure that she got much of the ball there. It's, in slow motion they always look worse, but Gemma Evans, the frustrated challenge that looked like is that she was fed up to the start of this game. Because like you say, they've had some good results, good performances, and so it's really disappointing at the start of this game that they find themselves 2-0 down already.
Daniels loses possession. Wrighton looking for Kerr as Evans, the captain, comes across. So we have the FA Cup quarter-finals to look forward to next weekend. Bournemouth against Southampton's our first game, Saturday 11:30 the start time for that, and then later the same day we head to Goodison Park, Everton against Manchester City, as Kirby looks to make her way through here. Kirby stayed down, but Chelsea continue. Kerr. Humphrey looking to get to it first. Loses possession, though. Wrighton with the pass. Chelsea moving it quickly and precisely as behind it goes for a corner.
So difficult to defend against. And a team with that sort of quality move the ball 1 and 2 touch. That's what Chelsea have to do to get behind this really compact, particularly when it gets to the edge of the area. That's what Bristol are trying to be. This is just where I think she was caught, Frank Kirby. I don't think she was particularly badly injured. She just caught there. The end from Perfield.
In it goes. And scramble clear by Bissell. Bright. Foul by Bryson. Free kick to Chelsea.
You can hear Matt Beard shouting on, and he's talking about filling the gaps and making sure that Chelsea can't play through. There's no real pressure on the ball.
Ingle. Bright. Ingle. Bristol City are currently in their best form of the season. Their only defeat in their last 5 was to Chelsea. They've won 3 of those 5 matches, drew at West Ham as well. But rather outclassed so far today. They're just not keeping the ball at all either, are they?
No, they're not, and they're not offering a threat either when they do get it. So what happens, Adam, is that because there's no outlet, and Ebony Salmon needs to be that, and Charlie Daniels, we see now that it looks like there was a handball coming across. She had a hand in the air. I don't think the referee saw that. I'm not sure that was particularly intentional, but talk about arms being out wide and in unnatural positions.
Well, we don't have VAR in operation today. We do have goal line technology, should it be required. But Jana Daniels maybe has got away with one there. The rain coming down at Vicarage Road as Chelsea look for a third.
So a couple of minutes ago, we saw Millie Bright come forward because she's thinking, well, I've not really got that much to do, so I may as well come forward. So that's what Bristol have to do, what they're doing now with Salmon.
Salmon waiting for some support. Bryson. Well, Matt Beard saying move it quicker. And they're going to have to move quick to get back defensively here into shape. Kirby waits in the middle. Fleming's there as well. Kirby has a go, and it's just wide. That all came from what looked like a promising position for Bristol City.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're going to get the ball up there and bodies up there, you need to keep the ball, because there's always that eye out on the counter-attack from Chelsea and the players and the pace. And you see Perfield dropping there. Just allow Sam Kerr to be played in. You've got to get the bodies back if you're going to get them forward. And it's a balance, Adam. You don't really want to throw those forward because you don't want to get done on the counter.
Wright's pass. Kirby. Got Fleming up in support, but overhit it. Frank Kirby.
I've played in finals, one final where conceded, in fact it was me that scored an own goal in an FA Cup final within a minute of playing.
I'm glad you brought that up rather than me.
But it's horrific. This is what I'm saying. It isn't good. It's not a very nice feeling, but you've got to drag yourself around and really sort of show up the rest of the game. It doesn't half knock your confidence. And then the second final we were in, we lost by a goal to nil, so we'd learnt something in terms of defending against a far superior team.
Evans' header drops now for Kirby, but Evans recovered that well. It comes now to Wellings. The elder got in the way of the pass intended for Anthony Salmon. You'd have thought that the Vixens would have looked closely at how Brighton surprised Chelsea in the league last month. I have to say Emma Hayes' side have reacted well to that defeat. 3 league wins in a row, 10 goals scored, 3 clean sheets. Daniels guides it out. It's actually gone in Chelsea's favour.
Yeah, I think it touched Daniels.
Taken quickly, Mielda, Kirby, dinks in the cross. Came off the head there of Wellings. Again, Chelsea just get possession back so quickly. Ingle. Ingle. Loypolts. Wrighton. Kerr. Bright. Mielda. Fleming flies in the cross towards Kerr, and that was a heart-in-mouth moment, wasn't it, for a moment there for Skeels.
You've just got to be careful that your confidence levels don't drop, and decision-making there, just try to clear it, but sometimes that happens when things are not going your way.
So 4 inside the 6-yard box here for Wrighton to aim at. In towards that near post it went. Kerr with the ball back, and Fleming, and Ingle, and Fleming again. Just kept in here by Millie Bright. Mielda able to bring that a long way as they backed off a bit there. Bristol City sliding in was Kerr, and then back defending was Wellings, and then Bristol City get the free kick.
I say that was a foul. The referee didn't give it straight away. Bristol just in front of the back 5. Sam Kerr sliding in. I think she got a touch to the ball but took Bristol out at the same time.
What a record she's got this season, Sam Kerr. Now 15 goals, this is her 23rd appearance of the season. Only Viviane Miedemar's got more league goals. Between them, her and Fran Kirby have got 23 in the league this season. Oh, it's given away here by the goalkeeper, and Kirby knows she's still off her line. Oh dear. Well, you have to have, I guess, some sympathy for the goalkeeper battling, but still it needed finishing, and Fran Kirby, as she so often does, did the rest. And the week that she signed a new contract with Chelsea, she's put them 3-0 up in the Continental-cup final.
That's such a shame for Bagley. She's had such a good season in goal, but it's just, again, decision-making, execution of passes. And as she was running back, she turned her back on, and this is no chance of knowing where it is. Fran Kirby didn't need asking twice in those situations. And to be fair, that quite 2 goals at least have come from mistakes from Bristol. Just got to be more thorough, better decision making.
Well, Kirby's made 2, scored 1. What a season she's having. And, you know, we should really pay tribute to Fran Kirby, Lucy, as to, you know, it's easy to forget that about this time last year, she's actually said that she considered whether she could carry on playing football, had that debilitating illness, a form of heart disease. She was sleeping 18 hours a day at one point, and now to this.
Yeah, she's terrific resilience. I mean, good support as well at a club like Chelsea. She's got friends around her, the club support her well, but credit to her getting herself back to this level, which, like I said before, I think is beyond the level she was at.
It's her ball wide as well. Precise, wasn't it? Run was by Leupolz that was ignored by Anderson. Inside it goes to Ingle. This is already, by the way, the joint highest. The biggest winning margin in a Continental Cup final is 3 goals. And we're at that now, and such a long way still to go. And your only fear here for Bristol City, Lucy, is, with barring an absolute miracle here, this is probably already gone. We've seen how this has helped, perhaps, their league form, this run to the final. If they were to be on the end of a real hiding here, you wonder how it could have the opposite effect. Yeah, that could be a risk, but, you know, they've done incredibly well in this cup run. They've got WSL results off the back of it because the players feel confident and that they can win games. And it is a risk, but they've just got to have the right mindset to the rest of this game. It's so difficult, though. I've been there. Ebony Salmon with the turn. See, that's where you want Ebony Salmon knocking the ball beyond. I know she didn't do it, didn't get onto the other end of it, but she's got to keep her head up, keep her confidence, and something at some point will drop for her in this game. What a big game we have coming up in the WSL. This coming Friday, really important in terms of the race for the Champions League places. Arsenal against Manchester United at Meadow Park, Friday 6 o'clock. Hope you can join us for that. And what Tanya Oxtoby is making of all of this. Of course, the Bristol City coach, who's currently off on maternity leave. That be the interim head coach. And there she is, very heavily pregnant. Tanya is due to give birth this month. There's Wellings, Ebony Salmon. Of course, we should remember that Tanya Oxtoby had got them to the quarter-finals as Master Antonio had a shot. Now the break is on for Chelsea, led by Wrighton. Movement by Kerr, who's the furthest forwards, and that's who Kirby looked for, and Kerr's in for a hat-trick, and she great challenge. Brilliant. Gemma Evans, they've got to be marking the likes of Kerr and Kirby as they're going through, but it's a terrific recovery challenge. And this is the risk that for Bristol City, for Chelsea on the counter with pace. And she just left, she was left, wasn't she, Sam Kerr, and left Gemma Evans to mop up, and what a terrific challenge that was. So another set piece to defend here for the Vixens. Touch by Fran Kirby. So she's taken her game to a new level this season. Fran Kirby playing the best football of her career so far, she says. I think Emma Hayes has been a really important part in all of that, both on and off the pitch. I think Fran Kirby said how important she was to her during her illness as well, wasn't she? Yeah, I think one of Hayes' main skills is the way that she can manage players and deal with players. It's not just about on the pitch and on the training ground, it's off the pitch as well, and I think that sort of support is really helpful for the likes of Fran Kirby and all the players. Chelsea have been drawn against last season's Champions League runners-up Wolfsburg in this season's quarter-finals of that competition. Manchester City will play Barcelona. Of course, we have the chance, the possibility of an all-English final, as they would be kept apart in the semi-finals as well, the two English clubs. Kerr's pass to release Kirby, who's in again here, one-on-one with the keeper. Might square it, decided to go alone, and in it goes. What a game she's having. Now scored 2, and 2 assists for Fran Kirby. Chelsea are running riot here, and this is already the biggest ever. If it were to stay this way, or they were to add to it, the biggest margin of victory ever in a Continental Cup final. Again, they get themselves further up the pitch, Bristol, but then just beat them with 1 or 2 passes, and that's where Gemma Evans, she just needs to nail Sam Kerr on the halfway line, give a free kick away, and then, because in terms of the defensive line, there isn't such a thing, and she's got the calmness as well. Fran Kirby to finish it. And that's where Sam Kerr needs to be brought down, because they're out of shape, Bristol, and they need to just give a free kick away, but
Well finished by Frank Kirby in the end.
Off the goalkeeper. And in for 4.
The problem you've got now, Adam, is just the confidence of the players, and they know this is, for some of them, probably the biggest game of the career so far, and it's so disappointing when you concede like they have done, but they've got to keep going.
There'll be no mercy either from Chelsea. They'll just keep going. An insatiable appetite for goals from Emma Hayes' side. Kirby, Ingle. Mielda has kept it in. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I do wonder whether Matt Beard is wondering whether he might have set up the formation differently.
Well, it's about the players and what the players are comfortable with, and they really haven't looked comfortable from the start.
Eriksson. It's a case of deja vu for Chelsea in the Champions League last 8 that I was just mentioning. The side they'll face, Wolfsburg, have knocked them out 3 times before, 2016, 2017 and 2018. Do you reckon it'll be 4th time lucky?
I think Chelsea are much more better equipped now. And I did cover one of those games a few years ago where they were outclassed by Wolfsburg. I do think that now they're in a real tip-top condition. They've got players to come, game changers off the bench.
The cross in towards Kerr, and that was a good claim that time by Bagley.
It's important it doesn't affect Bagley's confidence, to give you a goalkeeper.
Remember, she was in the 2019 PFA Team of the Year. She's the busiest goalkeeper in the WSL this season. Yet to make her England debut, but has been called up before, competing with the likes of Hannah Hampton, Ellie Roebuck and Sandy McKeever. Mary Earps, maybe another contender. Carly Telford's pretty blessed with goalkeepers right now. Wrighton couldn't quite keep it in.
It's just the quickness of movement, and that's the way to play against a defence with lots of bodies in it. 1 and 2 touch, and Chelsea do excel at that.
Ingle won it in the air. It's been hurt a little. Making that header, Sophie Ingle, of course, former Bristol City player up until 2015. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that a player of her quality, she's 29 now as well, the Welsh captain. This competition last season, Lucy, was her first major trophy of her career.
It's crazy. She's such an important player for Chelsea, and this is the thing about this game now that Chelsea will think that they just need to continue as they do and they will win the cup, that they don't get any injuries to any of the players, but she really didn't look happy. She's sitting down now, Sophie Ingle.
Certainly going to need some attention. It remains to be seen whether she'll be able to continue here, Ingle.
I think she was, when she went over on her ankle, she was stood on as she landed. Yeah, we see there, that's a sore one. Went over on her ankle, don't need to see that again. It's a painful one. But this is the risk now, because Chelsea need to keep a fit squad if they want to go further into the Champions League. And in terms of importance of players, particularly when you're playing against better teams in the Champions League, Sophie Ingle, the way that her recovery runs, the positioning when they lose possession, Chelsea, against the better teams, that she's so important to them.
She's so humble as well, Sophie Ingle. When she signed a new deal last month till 2023, she said it was nice that the club wanted to keep me for another 2 years.
I don't think there's any question about that, but that's quite nice, that sort of attitude. But I think she will know how important she is to this team.
Contender for Team GB as well, you would think. some big choices to be made there,
Yeah.
isn't there? I wouldn't want the job of picking that squad.
Definitely not.
Emma Hayes well on her way to her 9th major trophy as Chelsea head coach. Should tell you, by the way, as well, about some action we have coming up in the Men's Champions League. Talk quite a bit about the Women's Champions League. Manchester City have a job to complete against Borussia Mönchengladbach, 2 up from the first leg. And Chelsea's men, well, they have the home leg of their tie against Diego Simeone's Atletico. A goal up in that one, Chelsea, and looking to finish the job. Good to see Sophie Ingle back on. Final 5 minutes of this first half. Leupolz. One over the top for Kirby, who couldn't latch onto it that time.
It's good timing of a run there. Fran Kirby just sees, as soon as they get some possession, that she makes those runs forward. To be fair, that's a really good ball. See her, she's on her way, she's not offside, in between 2 of the centre-backs, and somebody's got to go with her, somebody's got to mark her if she's not going to be offside.
Eriksson with the ball back to Berger, who's been a virtual spectator, hasn't she? What a contrast that is to last season's final, when she was absolutely outstanding, one of the best goalkeeping performances I've seen in women's football.
It was a really well contested final last year.
Brighton. Eriksson. Clearance only falls to Kirby, and Kirby gets it back again. Good save by Bagley, denying Fran Kirby a hat-trick.
It's good. And Bagley again, the interchange play between Fran Kirby and Sam Kerr is really at the top level. And again, she did really well. They can't really clear the lines, Bristol. It's a 1-2 with Sam Kerr. Saved well with her legs there. So for Bagley, it's good for her confidence, because she knows she made a mistake for that previous goal.
What does he say at half-time, Lucy?
It's such a difficult one, because his team are not going to get back into this. They could score a goal. It'd be concentrating on the little parts of the second half, and can you get yourself in front of goal? Can we get our dangerous players in front of goal? Can we defend better? Don't know whether he'll change the system, but it's about keeping the players as buoyant as possible, because it's not just about today, it's about the rest of the season.
They're second from bottom in the league. Bristol City got themselves off the bottom of the table with that victory over Reading on Monday. Brighton stayed down. The next league game for Bristol City is against Manchester City. It won't get any easier for them, not immediately anyway. But Brighton has got a bit of a problem here.
Yeah, it looked initially like a good challenge. Yeah, a good challenge, a 50-50 challenge in terms of, and just caught Brighton. Good strong challenge. She did go through it from that angle, didn't she? Felt that on her ankle. And that's why it's difficult for the referee, depending on what angle they watch it from, Adam, to make the right decision.
Well, she's going to be picking up a second trophy of the season, almost certainly, Emma Hayes. It could be their greatest campaign ever, couldn't it, in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, top of the WSL. Still the FA Cup as well to think about eventually at some point. They could end up with 5, couldn't they? They include the Community Shield as well.
Yeah, they could, but they will maybe have some fixture congestion along the way. You know, she talked before about changing the team, keeping everybody happy, but they're playing that many games that players will get a lot of game time.
She said, Emma Hayes, that she thinks the Champions League and the WSL, whoever goes the furthest in the Champions League of themselves and Manchester City, will be maybe at more of a disadvantage in terms of the race for the league title.
And that's why they've got big squads. I think Chelsea's probably the biggest one of all the WSL teams.
So a minimum of 2 minutes added on at the end of this first half. "57 goals conceded in the league this season by Bristol City, and they've conceded 4 in this first half of the Continental-cup final. Ingle looking for Kirby. Rare chance for the Vixens to get forward here. Pass for Wellings. Salmon in support here. Humphreys in the middle. Stooping for that was Millie Bright. Not a great clearance though, and Wellings has misjudged that.
She probably needed a touch there from Wellings. She just had a bit of time.
Wellings again. Salmon with the chance to cross. It's a good cross as well. Daniels and Mastrantonio. That's the best sequence of play they've had this first half.
Yeah, Salmon down the right-hand side. I think that she needs to be in the box because that's a terrific ball in there, but asking quite a lot. Mastrantonio get it in the top corner from there, and it was always rising.
Well, a one-sided first half at Vicarage Road. Sam Kerr it was with the opener. 2 for her, 2 for Fran Kirby in that first half. Kirby with assist to her name as well. Chelsea utterly dominant here. And at half-time, it is Bristol City 0, Chelsea 4.